Welcome to Securely Flex. This video will be about the Flex priority hierarchies, which are the levels that you use to create Flex activities for kids. The system works in a series of priorities or hierarchies from 1 to 7. I'm going to provide a brief summary of the 7 levels, and then we're going to take a deep dive as we're going through into each one. If you'd like to follow along, then please scroll down to the Help menu, click on Documentation, and mouse over to the right where there's an eyeball and click that eyeball, and that will open up our new document index. You should see the priority level definition guide right there. All right, let's get started. So this is the digital sheet that I was referring to with the 7 different levels. Flex has 2 categories, voice and choice and mandated activities. The bottom 3, which I'll be referring to as level or numbers 5, 6, and 7, are voice and choice. Students have the freedom to choose these activities. Let's take a deep dive into each of these voice and choice priority levels. Here's an example of a number 7 voice and choice. This is the lowest level. I'd like you to look down here at the priority legend below. This is what it would look like on your screen if you create an open activity. And you can see the definition here. But essentially, this is open to all students. Now, the next level is level 6, which we call an advertised activity. This level requires a roster to get started. Now, this is open to all kids. However, you're sending a virtual flyer to a few kids advertising the activity to them. So it's really a soft nudge. And you'll be saying something like, hey, I'm having this book club, or there's this GoPro club you might be interested in. So go ahead and sign up for this if you would like. Now, they don't have to sign up because it's a choice activity. So again, this is level 6. Now, the last level of choice also requires a roster. So if you want to let a certain group of students know in advance that an activity is open to them, but not open to everyone else in the building, you can send out a virtual flyer as an optional choice activity. It is not, however, open to all students, only those on a roster. In my example here, I have a solar-powered battery car race team, and they only need 10 students to sign up to help build the racetrack. So I will push this out as an optional choice activity for only those kids on the race club roster. And when I schedule it, it's only going to go out to those students for a choice activity selection. So again, these are the 3 levels of choice. You have 7, open to all, 6, open to all, but a soft nudge with a flyer to each, and finally number 5, which is a choice activity, but only sent to a select group of kids on the roster, like the solar-powered battery race car team club. Now, this is what it's going to look like on a student screen. Currently at the top, you'll see NHS Tutors. Now, that's an open activity. It's gray. That's number 7. However, this student is being sent a virtual flyer for 2 different activities. It's a green advertised activity for the GoPro club. And then the second one is for the solar-powered battery car race team. Now, that student's name is on a roster. However, as you can see, the student can choose whichever activity they want. Now, that's the beauty of the voice and choice options here. So to summarize, options 7, 6, and 5 at the bottom there, those are choice activities, and students can make changes to their registration choice up until the school's cutoff time. Now that we've discussed the voice and choice activities, we're going to take a deep dive into the mandates. So if you're running remediation, RTI, test prep, or anything else that you need to mandate kids to attend, you're going to want to create an activity at the number 4 or 2 level. Number 1 is for admins only, but it is a mandated activity level. Let's begin with the purple required level, which is level 4. Purple required is level 4. If a teacher attaches a roster to a purple required activity, any students on that roster must attend. So here in my example, I have an AP Human Geography test prep class. This is a mandated activity for 21 kids. These students have been added to a roster that the teacher set up for this activity. And so when they log in, they will see that they have to attend. Now we're skipping plus add because I want to talk about how 4 and 2 are similar. They're just different in priority levels. Purple priority, or level 2, is the highest level that a teacher can use when creating an activity. It is at the number 2 level, which means that if you add a student at the number 2 level, you would be pulling them out of any previous level that the student has been registered in. Yellow or gold is the admin priority level number 1. That's the top priority in our system, and that will pull any student out of the lower 6 levels. If a student sees a gold activity on their schedule, they must attend. A teacher cannot pull anybody out from a number 1. That is an admin-only level. All mandated priority levels function the same, as students must attend. Here's what a teacher's schedule could look like if you had one of each activity level scheduled. You can see the different mandates. The first one on the left is on Monday. It's 11th grade. That's an admin required level 1 for the 11th grade class. Then moving left to right under Wednesday, you have a purple required mandated activity level 4. That's my human geography test prep flex class. Next on Thursday, I have a purple priority level 2 flex activity. That's U.S. history. This is how you can mandate that certain students attend your activities or flex classes. All right, let's take a quick review. Let's look at Tuesday and Friday. I have 3 choice activities scheduled. I have an orange optional activity for my solar car race team. Students on the roster for this activity will see it pushed to their flex calendar as an option to select. I also have a green advertised GoPro activity as well. Remember that this is sending a virtual flyer out as an advertisement to all students by pushing the activity to the student's calendar for choice. Finally, over on Friday, I have an open choice activity for all students to choose from. Now, I skipped plus add for a reason. Notice on my flex schedule screen that there's a plus sign on every single teacher activity, and the 0 means you haven't plus added any student yet. The reason this is the home run of the program is this. Let's say that after you have set up your activities, you remember that you forgot to add a student after you created your activity, and that's only 1 kid for that day. You can just simply plus add them, and guess what? You're pulling them out of 7, 6, 5, and 4. That's right. You can, 1 student at a time, pull them out of any lower priority and put them into your activity. A home run. And you're putting them into a level 3. So this is really nice because it allows you the flexibility to add 1 student at a time if you forget them, if they show up requesting to join your activity at the last minute, or you just realize that Johnny needs to make up a quiz. You can plus add Johnny to any date and time as long as he isn't already plus added by another teacher or in a higher priority activity, which would be number 2. This is what a student will see on their calendar. One thing I'd like to point out, and this topic often comes up in trainings, just because one teacher puts a student's name on a roster for a mandatory activity, they are not always guaranteed that student will be in attendance. The teacher that schedules the student first in a mandatory activity will have their activity default on the student's schedule. If and when a different teacher schedules that student in an activity at the same level, the student could choose to attend the second activity. So it's a good conversation to have with staff so they are aware of how this works. I hope you can see the nuances of each priority level and how each serves a unique purpose. The 3 levels of choice allow you to craft unique experiences to facilitate voice and choice activities between all students, or a subset of your student body. The mandated priorities allow teachers to create unique activities that require students to attend and ensure that they are getting the academic support they need. This ranges from RTI, intervention, remediation, or certain other requirements such as band or student council. Lastly, not all schools use all of the priority levels. Admins can customize this for your schools by removing some or renaming the levels. The colors and functionality stay the same. Thank you very much for watching this video about priority levels.